Ho, ho, ho. Live from the west side of Wilson County, this is SmackTalk.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer walking home from our house Christmas Eve.
Well, I want to welcome everybody to this week's edition of SmackTalk Live. I am your host, Johnny St. Nick Stardust. I just want you to notice how here in the Stardust house, we have already gotten ready for Christmas. As you can see in the background, the tree is up and there is so much cheer in the air. Everybody is happy. However, Miss Stardust tends to want to have a tree that has a theme to it. Now, I think that's putting a little bit too much thought process into decorating something as crazy as a tree. If it was me, I'd have went with more lights and more pinks and purples. That's just my preference. But she has outdid herself this year, and she has a beautiful tree. But with it been me, it'd been a lot more flashier. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to talking about some football and some fantasy football of the WWWFFL. What we got this week is the playoffs are about 90% set. And yes, I am in the playoffs. And I am so happy because I knew it from the beginning. Now, let me say, there are two teams at the top, possibly three teams. We're going to have the Soggy Bottom Boys, and we're going to definitely have the Moes. Now, when they look at their schedule and possible playoff bracket, and they see the likes of the Smacker T's in there, I know they think fear is there. They fear me, they fear my team, and let me tell you something. You better be ready because the team of the Smacker T's are getting ready to play. Now, there are a couple people, though, that are still sweating it out to get in the playoffs, and that is Coach Kenny. I don't think he's going to make it, but he is sweating it out, and I guess there probably is a possibility all the stars would have to line up. Then you got the Swine Slammers, and wouldn't it be just so interesting that the Swine Slammers have got to play their brother, who is a top team, in order to have a chance at the playoffs. Now, it's pretty amazing that how bad, awful the Swine Slammers were at the beginning of the year, how they have made a run at the playoffs. It reminds me of the Titans and how they have made a run. Now, the other team that is still in there is the Mean Machine and Coach Stevens. I bet Coach Stevens is having trouble sleeping at night at this point because he has got to go through the Mighty Moes. And although I think the Mighty Moes are highly overrated, Coach Stevens' team is back to where it was at the beginning of the year, and it is just awful. But anyway, those three teams are sweating it out, and it is going to be a very interesting matchup this week to see what happens with those dweller sellers. Now, this week there's another interesting matchup in the Central Division, and that is between Coach Bruce of the Bruce's Bruisers and Coach Davey of the Mighty Midgets. Now, they are battling it out for Central Division Championship, and let me tell you, that's almost as important as the Super Bowl because literally those four teams in the Central Division are the highest scoring teams. And I can tell you, when a whole division is in the playoff, I don't need to say anything else about that. Now, they are battling out, and if Coach Davey can outscore his father by 8 points, he will become our Central Division championship. I never knew it that a kicker may actually be what determines the Central Division Championship. And so that makes it oh so interesting. I know they're searching a waiver wire for that lucky kicker that may get them something big like a 14-point day. I want to wish them good luck because I'm going to thump them in the playoffs. So I hope they enjoy this week because pretty much after that, it's going to be misery when the Smackers roll through them in the Super Bowl. Now, one last matchup this week is the Ditch Dogs and my Smackatees. Now, it really don't matter who wins, but I'm going to finish this yappity-yap talk this week with Coach Etheridge and show him how to coach a fantasy football team. I hope he takes notes because let me tell you, it's going to be good. And I'm going to roll over him. I mean like one of them big wheel machines going over new concrete. It's going to be beautiful. I hope y'all have a good time and maybe y'all will spend more time researching your players than decorating a crazy old tree. With that, let the smack flow.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer walking home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa,